Good afternoon, my lovelies. Hope this video is finding you all well and healthy. Um, just thought I'd jump on here today, have a bit of a rant. Um, First things first, didn't quite work out as planned regarding the football, but we can't be too unhappy. Um, Two trophies, still playing for one, lost by 1 point. Um, and what an end to the season, right down literally to the last 5 minutes of the season. So I'm not gutted. I know there's going to be plenty of people out there that are going to be jumping and cheering, and I just say to them, look at what your team's doing at the moment. Are you really in a position to jump and cheer? Um, but I don't want to talk about football on here. Um, First things first. First thing I really want to get off my chest: e-scooters and delivery drivers on bikes for people like Deliveroo, Uber Eats, Just Eat. What a bunch of morons these people are. E-scooters, let's start on them first. People speeding along on a pavement at fucking 30 miles an hour, expecting everyone to jump out of their way and causing major problems and nearly hitting people and nearly knocking people over and just being utter selfish bastards on the pavement. Um, I think it should be made law that you should be allowed that if you see one of these twats on an e-scooter, you can just literally stick your fist out and knock them flying off the scooter, or stick something in their wheels or something like that. Even better still, if you remember the old cartoons with the Roadrunner and the inventions, one of them boxes, the box, you open it up and a great big boxing glove comes out like that. Um, an extendable boxing glove. I think we should be allowed to carry them on the pavement. And as soon as you see one of these fucking idiots going too fast on an e-scooter, open the box, knock them fucking flying. They do my head in. I don't know how they're illegal. I don't know how they're not illegal. Well, they're meant to be illegal, but I don't see anyone ever being prosecuted. How can something that goes that fucking fast be allowed to travel on the pavement? I really don't get it. A lot of people kind of like stepping out of shops and stuff like that nearly get knocked over by these selfish bastards. And someone is going to really get seriously injured one day, getting hit 30 miles an hour on the pavement. I mean, don't forget, they tell you that regarding drivers on the road, that if they drive at 20 miles an hour, if they hit you on impact, you're more than likely to survive. But anything over that, and you're looking at maybe serious injuries or possibly death. And these twats are going 30 miles an hour on a pavement, not even on a fucking road. Also, along the same line as selfish bastards that don't care about other people, fucking delivery drivers using bikes and scooters on behalf of Uber Eats and on behalf of Just Eat and on behalf of Deliveroo, they're the same, fucking charging up on the pavement to get to their pickup point, not caring who's walking around, herring and tearing around, blocking the pavement so you can't walk along anywhere, so people have to walk in the fucking roads. You walk past a branch of McDonald's now, and there's about 50 fucking bikes parked outside it, and you can't even walk on the pavement. And then these bastards won't cycle in the road like they're meant to. They go on the pavements and take shortcuts and cut down places that are like pedestrian only to get to their, to break their neck to get to their next delivery. It's ridiculous. These fucking assholes knocking people flying and people having to jump out of the way of them. They've got to do something about it. I mean, I still don't get this whole thing that someone needs to get up in the morning and have a fucking Egg McMuffin delivered to their door. Fucking get out of bed and go and buy it, for fuck's sake. I can understand people getting deliveries from restaurants, like getting an Indian meal delivered or a Chinese meal or Thai or anything like that. I can understand that. But someone fucking paying well over the odds for a delivery, like it's £5 to deliver one fucking burger to their house because they can't be bothered to get out of their beds to walk to McDonald's that is probably a 2-minute walk from their fucking house. I just don't get it. And I know, I think one day we're going to turn the news on and there's going to be some tragic thing that someone's walked out of a shop, been hit by one of these dickheads on a bike or a scooter, and has suffered catastrophic injuries or even worse. So the quicker they take it more seriously that these e-scooters are illegal on the pavement and they actually start dishing fines out and they actually start confiscating off people, I think the safer things are going to be. At the moment, you're dicing with death walking on the fucking pavement, and it shouldn't be that way. In regards that's all I've really got to say on that. Kind of not hand in hand, but inconsiderate. Talking about inconsiderate people, I think as a nation we've just become really fucking rude. We've lost our manners, we've lost our courtesy. I hear people walking into shops and walking into cafeterias and restaurants and all these places, and the way that people talk to people behind the counter is just fucking embarrassing. If it was me behind that counter, I would say, fucking jog on then. Go somewhere else. We don't want people like you being rude to us when we're trying to serve you. And it's just general manners and courtesy has gone from everywhere. I notice things like common sense says on a train, you let the people off the train first, or off the tram, or off the bus first, before you fucking get on. Oh, no, no, no. These arseholes now are pushing to get on the train when you're trying to get out the door, and then it's a kind of like a Russian roulette that you get off before the door's shut. Because these arseholes are pushing their way on and they won't let people get off. So I don't know what's happened. We seem to have lost our way. I think since we've come out of all these lockdowns and all these kind of things to do with COVID, I just think we've just forgotten about everything. We've forgotten how to be sociable. We've forgotten how to be polite. We've forgotten how to be courteous to people. And it really fucking winds me up. I end up getting angry for the people behind the counter when I hear people being rude to them. Because I'm thinking to myself, it's their job. They're probably not paid very well for doing what they're doing. But at the moment, needs do as needs must. And whatever job you can take to earn what you need to earn to feed yourself and your family, you'll take it. But don't talk down to these fucking people. At the end of the day, if they weren't behind that counter and there was no one behind that counter, you wouldn't be able to do what you're doing. And it all boils down to a thing that I mentioned a couple of years ago with people being rude to people in supermarkets during lockdown because there was all this thing of queuing outside supermarkets and then people were panic buying and stripping the shelves bare, and then people were going in afterwards and abusing the staff for the shelves being empty. It's that kind of thing again. It's that mentality that people who work in retail, everyone as people have this uncanny urge that you have to talk to them like they're arseholes. You have to talk down to them and you have to be rude to them because they work in retail. No, you fucking don't. You really don't. Manners and courtesy cost nothing. To say please, to say thank you, to be courteous costs absolutely nothing. It's not going to take vital minutes out of your day. It's not going to cost you any money. It's just the decent thing to do. But no, people have to fucking be rude to people for no reason whatsoever other than they're in retail and that's what they're there for. I said I wasn't going to talk about football. I'm not going to talk about teams or that. What I'm going to talk about now is a couple of incidents have happened recently where the behaviour of people watching football isn't great. I mean, the incident with Billy Sharp the other day is appalling. How a fan can run onto a pitch and literally charge straight at a player and headbutt him just because their team won and your team didn't. What gives the fan a right to do that? I get so pissed off. Well, the fans, we've got a right. No. You haven't got a right to yell abuse at people on the pitch. You haven't got a right to yell absolutely atrocious abuse at rival fans. And you certainly haven't got the fucking right to assault players stood on the side of the pitch. You haven't got the right to do that. Being a fan, even being a card-carrying season ticket holder, does not give you the right to abuse players physically or verbally because you're a season ticket holder. I don't agree with it. I know people do and think that you are allowed to be verbal. And yes, you can shout out, I think you're playing shit, or I don't like you very much because you're our rivals. That's fine. But when you cross the line and you start bringing up uh, individual instances for that particular player, again, poor Billy Sharp a couple of years back had fans chanting at him due to the fact that his wife had lost a child. That is fucking appalling. Absolutely appalling. And it still goes on. It still goes on. A player the other day came out as being gay, and he has got a shitload of abuse on social media just for being gay. And you'll still get these moron fans that say, well, it's football, it's a bit of banter. It's not fucking banter when you're being personal about someone. It's not banter, it's fucking rude. It's insulting. When you're having a go at someone because of the country they come from or the colour of their skin, it's not fucking banter. It's racist. It's racist abuse. It's racist chanting. And you can't dress it up as any other way and say, oh, it's because I don't like that team. No, if you are attacking a player verbally and a colour is mentioned, that's not banter. Banter is just saying you haven't won so many trophies for so many years, or your striker hasn't scored for so long. That's banter. Banter isn't finding an event in that club's history where people have died and making up songs about it, no matter who it is, whether it's people chanting about the Munich air disaster at Man United fans, whether it's Hillsborough chants at the Liverpool fans, whether it's chants at Bradford City fans because of the fire, anything where people are making chants based on disasters and serious events that have happened to that club. It's not fucking banter. And if you think it's banter, then you're the wrong kind of person watching football matches, because you're not there for the right spirit. If you can't enjoy a game without hurling some kind of personal abuse at a player or a club, or even physically abusing a player from a rival club, we don't need those kind of morons in the game. We need to get these morons kicked out. And it's absolutely fucking disgraceful. That guy running on the pitch, clobbering Billy Sharp, it's fucking appalling. Absolutely appalling. Thank God he's been arrested and he has been jailed. But I don't think that's enough. Surely he's got to be banned from any kind of football stadium of any kind anywhere in the country for life. Not for 5 years, not for 10 years. He's got to be banned for fucking life, surely. And it's appalling. I hope Billy Sharp, I mean, apparently Billy Sharp did have quite a serious injury from it, and he did have to go into hospital. And anyone that's sitting there watching this laughing and going, oh, well, it's just part of the game and it's banter, you're a fucking idiot, as far as I'm concerned. There was a couple of things I want to kind of move and still rant, but not be so serious. There was a thing I missed out on the last rant that I was meant to cover on the last rant and completely forgot. And it's kind of to do with people thinking they've got the right to say and hurl abuse at people for no reason whatsoever. I'm a Doctor Who fan. I know people are going to probably watch this now, go loser, sad. Don't care. I've been watching it since I was a little kid. I like it. It's one of those things. And as everyone knows, when an actor decides they don't want to be Doctor Who anymore, they leave, and they've got such a thing in there that they can regenerate and bring a new actor in who's still playing the Doctor, but he just looks different. And it's a way of getting the same character going. And there's always a bit of kind of people going, well, I didn't want him or I didn't want her when a new Doctor gets announced. All the way through, from as far back as I can remember watching it from the days of Tom Baker. When they announced Tom Baker was leaving, I was like, oh my God, I don't think I'll watch it ever again. Then they showed Peter Davison and everyone was like, he looks really young. All the other Doctors have looked a bit old and a bit kind of weathered. And this is a young guy coming in. And I remember the papers kind of saying this could end Doctor Who because he's too young. And he came in, and within a couple of stories, everyone loved him. And the same thing has happened. You know, the recent big thing to hit Doctor Who was having the first female Doctor to come in. Now my point of view on that is I wasn't keen on it, because I think it was done more of a tick box exercise that there's never been a woman before, so we might as well do it now. She's a great actress. I gave it the benefit of the doubt. I watched it all. Unfortunately, she was let down by absolutely appalling stories, and that's why it hasn't worked out. And that's why a lot of fans haven't taken to it. It's not her fault. It's the story she's being given. So a week or so ago, they announced the new Doctor Who. And a lot of people went online and said, "Oh, it's a shame." I read that David Tennant was coming back. I would have liked this actor. I would have liked that actor. So everyone comes forward and says, "This is who I'd like to." So people were just kind of just saying they would have liked someone else. But a lot of people are in the same boat like me. I've never really watched anything that this new guy that's coming in has been in. So I can't make an opinion. I'm saying, well, I don't think it'll work. I don't think it'll be any good. Because he could be brilliant. Because I've never seen him in anything. So I will reserve judgment until he comes on my screen, and I watch and see how it works out. And it could be again he gets shit stories to work with, and then it's not his fault. Or it just might not work. He might not click. He might not connect with the audience. However, if you dare to go on any Doctor Who forums or any social media and say anything other than "I am over the moon that this actor has been given the role," you are immediately shouted down and told the only reason why you're not over the moon and chanting and cheering that this guy is the new Doctor Who is because you've got a problem that he's a black actor. And it's like, no, fuck off. You can't, when someone disagrees with your opinion, you can't then throw something at them to make them look bad because they disagree with what you're saying. So I just happened to say, and my exact words were, "I've never seen this guy in anything. I don't know whether he's going to be any good. He could be brilliant. He could be awful. I don't know. I'm not aware of any of his work. I haven't watched anything of it. I might catch up on some just to get an idea of what he's like. But then he isn't going to play the role the same as he played the role in, I believe he was in a program called Sex Education. He's not going to play the role like that. So you can't even really judge it from that. So I just said, I will wait until they start broadcasting his stories. I got absolutely harassed and people sending me all kinds of messages on Twitter and all kinds of messages on Facebook accusing me of this, accusing me of that, saying that I don't want to see black actors get major roles in anything. And I was probably one of the people that said that putting a woman in a role is outrageous and stuff like that. And some of the things that people were throwing at me, it was appalling. It was like it's like I'd gone online and had some major racist rant about this guy, and I hadn't. And a lot of other people are getting that people are just turning on them because they're not in agreement with their view. And I just thought to myself, is this what we've come to now? That you have to agree with everything in front of you. You're not allowed to kind of disagree with anything. It's that whole thing that Ricky Gervais said not so long ago. What gives people the right to go through life expecting to never hear anything or experience anything that they don't agree with or don't like? What gives a person a right to say, well, I don't think I should ever have anything in my life where I disagree with it, or anything in my life that upsets me? No one's got the right to claim that. No one likes to be upset by things, but you certainly don't have a divine right to say, well, no one should do this. And you certainly don't, if someone that disagrees with your opinion on something, find some way of turning them into some kind of demon because they don't agree with you. And that's what I found. And I'm thinking, this is a science fiction program. It's not a comment on how things are socially. It's not a political comment. It's not even in the real world. It's science fiction. The clue's in the title, fiction. And these people are fucking losing it. They're giving people all sorts of abuse and calling them out and saying they're this and saying they're that, just because they've not jumped up and down for joy and went, I'm so happy this guy's got the role. So yeah, it really kind of threw me a bit. And I've kind of stayed off of these kind of fan forums for things now, because it's littered with anything now. If you go on there and just express a slightly different opinion to people that run these moderators and stuff like that, and these so-called influencers who seem to think that their opinion matters more than everyone else, and you should just take their opinion and have their opinion. I'm staying away from it all. It's a shame because it's good to connect with other fans, from around the world and stuff like that, in something that you're all in agreement with. You all watch together, and you can all kind of exchange memories and that. But these things are getting lost now, because the minute someone comes out and just makes a comment that they don't agree with, you just get a gang, like mob rule of people just coming out and just insulting you and basically accusing you of this, that, and the other. So yeah, so it was a bit of an eye opener for me. Apart from that, I can't really think of anything else that I wanted to rant about. I mean, yes, we've had some more MP dickheads in their bubble, not knowing what the real world's like. We've had a woman recently coming out saying, well, if people can't afford to feed themselves, it's their problem because they're not going and getting a job that pays enough, and they should be looking to go for jobs in banking. And it's like, are you fucking serious? Are you deadly serious with that opinion? And obviously we've had the MP the other day that said that you can feed someone properly for 30 pence, and a chef tried to do it and couldn't, and said what I could make for 30 pence isn't very nutritious, isn't very nice, basically. And then we get fucking actually, here is something I've just remembered: Jamie fucking Oliver, that fat-tongued knobhead. Now kicking off that supermarkets shouldn't do buy one get one free on things because it's encouraging people to gain weight. I'm sorry, but in a time where people are struggling just to eat at all, if the supermarkets can do something to help them by maybe saying, well, instead of just you get one pack, you get 2 packs for the same money. So you can plan a meal for this week, and then you've also got next week's meal covered. Because most people that do buy one, get one free don't go home and consume the whole lot in one fucking go. They stick it in their freezer and put it away, and it just helps them save a bit of money. But dickheads like Jamie Oliver, don't understand that. They're another bubble in a bubble. He's a multi-millionaire. He's got restaurants all over the fucking place, but he wants to turn around and say to people, you can't eat this and you can't eat that. You should eat, you should eat all these fresh produce. Have you seen the price of some of this stuff that he wants people to eat? It's like 3 times the price of other stuff. Have you ever gone to any of his fucking restaurants and how much he rips people off for? You go and have ham, egg, and chips in your local cafe or your local pub, and it's about 5, 6 quid, 7 quid maybe. You go in his fucking restaurant, it's 30 quid. So he can fucking do one if he wants to start saying that people should get buy one get one free. They should be spending money on more nutritious food. More nutritious food costs more. The same as vegan food does, and vegetarian food costs more than non-vegetarian and non-vegan food. And that's why people won't get on board with it. It's too fucking expensive. But this twat has stirred up all these people, and they're all protesting, saying that that supermarkets shouldn't do buy one get one free. So at a time when people can't afford to eat, he wants to fucking make sure that they even more can't afford to eat by not giving the options of having buy one get one free. Well, he can fuck off. Absolutely fuck off out of it. He's like the MPs in the fucking bubble that don't know how the real world works. And, can't have turkey twizzlers. Give turkey twizzlers to kids for their lunch at school. I'm not being funny. I would sooner my child eat a turkey twizzler than eat fuck all, or sit there grazing on fucking fennel and quinoa. I'd sooner them eat something they like rather than force them to eat something that they don't like the taste of, or they don't like, or it doesn't look very appealing. So where does he get off with this? Where do these MPs get off saying things like, well, you just need to get a better paid job? Well, you can eat for 30 pence a head. All these moronic things. Another MP came out the other day and said, in actual fact, this whole thing with all these prices going through the roof and people can't afford to eat, will work wonders and help the NHS in tackling obesity, because if people can't eat, they won't put on weight. No, you fucking dickhead. If people can't eat, they will lose weight and become ill, so then people will go in fucking hospital. But you're okay, Jack, because you're an MP earning 80k a year, a subsidised restaurant in the House of Commons when you actually turn up. So you can sit there from your ivory tower and preach at people and say, well, it might do them some good if they only have one meal a day, they'll lose weight. Fuck you. You know what I suggest we do? I'm going to end on this. Other countries, when the government completely fucks up, countries rebel against their government and get the government out. We should do that in this country now. This government is fucking useless. It's not serving us as people. It's quite happy to sit back and watch people fucking starve and people freeze to death in their houses and can't afford to go anywhere and can't afford to do anything. They're quite happy to sit back and let that happen because they're all right, Jack. They can claim all their expenses on expenses and they still get 80k a year. So you know what I suggest we do? I suggest we get a mob to go to the House of Commons, push their way through the doors, go into the restaurant in the House of Commons, take up every single seat in that restaurant, sit there and say, we're not moving until you make us something to eat. We're not moving until we get a decent meal because we're paying for this fucking subsidised restaurant, so we're going to come here and eat here then. And refuse to leave until they feed you. And I think we are going to get some kind of mini revolution in this country. I can see it coming. People are just getting so fed up of just keep being told, well, you just need to tighten your belt. Well, you just need to spend less. I'm not being funny. We haven't got money to spend. So it's not a case of spending less. We haven't got money to spend in the first fucking place because we're allowing energy companies and the petrol companies and the supermarkets to fleece us so that their shareholders get an even bigger payout. Anyway, I've gone on a bit longer than I really wanted to, but it's been great to jump on here again and get these things off my chest. Please go on to the Rich T fan club, Rich T Rants Facebook page, and make any further suggestions. Nothing too political, but you know, if it's about MPs being knobheads, yep, I'm quite willing to have a crack at them. Obviously, go on YouTube, subscribe, like the videos, tell people about it. And I'm going to try and be a bit more active on here. It does help me. It does help me kind of get things out of my system. I hope it entertains you guys, seeing me getting wound up about things. So I will leave you all now. I'll say what I say at the end of everything. Everyone take care of yourselves. Let's continue to try and be better people. Let's look out for ourselves. Let's look out for the people around us. And we will get through this next wave of shit that's going to head our way. So I will love you and leave you. And I will say, as I always say, peace out, my lovelies.